Oh, hello, ladies and gents. Oh my God, do you know what today is? Well, actually, I don't. Let me check the day really fast. May 25th. I almost said May 26th. Of course, I never know what the day is. It is the 25th of May, and this is Day 9 Daily number 124. 124 means 125 is tomorrow. So many. Trying to get more episodes of Day 9 Daily than there are episodes of 24. That's my goal. And of course, I'll be watching that right after this because Jack Bauer, oh my God, every time he just throws someone down and beats him, like, I get happy. I don't know. Because the thing is, Jack Bauer never really has changed in like 4 seasons, and that's because the writers figured out the perfect character, and they just only write that. Every single time there's like a baker, and he's like, I don't know, I just make bread, and Jack Bauer just like shoots him in the knee, and it's like, I'm a federal agent, you have to trust me, and the baker's like, ah, and he's like shoving yeast in the wound and stuff. It's really, really great. So, don't know why I went on that tangent. Oh yeah, gotta outdo that. Yeah, get more episodes of that. Be flexing. In other awesome news, the beta servers are still a little bit unstable. There's a lot of crashing going on, but my replays are very stable. So I'm going to be showing you some great games between White-rA and Sen. Oh my God, how did I get my hands on those? Google search. So the focus of these games that we're going to be checking out today is it's going to be 2 games by White-rA where he does nearly identical styles of play. And in one case it works, and in one case it doesn't. Similar to how yesterday we talked about the flexibility of Idra's Zerg vs. Protoss, we're going to be talking a little bit about some ways to identify leaks and problems in your own play, because I'm sure many of you have a set of build orders that you really, really, really like, and that you work on a lot. So how do we make those even better? That's what the goal of today is. First, a little bookkeeping. Haven't uploaded 123 yet. Ooh, I'm going to be uploading that to Blip directly after this. And kind of like while I'm watching Jack Bauer shoot bakers in the kneecap. Because DJ Wheat has informed me of a great little metadata injector that he can put into my FLV files. Apparently, the reason that some of you have not been able to watch them on iTunes or your iPhone, or even be able to seek throughout the video, is because it was missing this metadata tag. And thanks to DJ Wheat, big hearts to him, just might happen. So I've been experimenting around with that quite a bit. So let's go right into the games. Going into the games. All right, now see, the thing is, you're probably noticing this little overlay right here. See this little thing? This overlay, I'm hoping, is over the replay bar. You see, I always try to make it at just the right place. You know, I try to rest my arm up here on my overlay. Now, let's see how well I did. Oh, I was so close. All right, let's just stretch it back out again. It's always fun to play little games with myself. Of course, I also have software, thanks to DJ Wheat, to do video overlays. Oh, DJ Wheat, the savior. All right, cool. We're going to see White-rA here, and this is his opponent, Sen, who's playing under the ID Grez. So we're just going to go ahead and hit the play button and get directly into things. So, actually I want to back this up. White-rA has the style of splitting that I don't recommend, which is send to, then send to, then send to. Yeah, I don't recommend that. Especially note that there's a misclick. Yeah, behind the minerals, then in front of the minerals, and then on the minerals. Just send them. Just send them off to mine, and auto mine will fix everything you love and need. So we have a Protoss vs. Zerg matchup, and of course everyone in Europe and Asia are very friendly, so they're just delighted to wish one another luck, and White-rA makes a little shout out to his friend Lao. And White-rA proceeds to do what I would call one of the standards in this matchup. He's going to be going for a 9 pylon at his choke. And this is generally, I call this the Nazgul style, because Nazgul was the first player I saw use this a lot. And this is in like week 2 of beta, I saw Naz using this. And of course the Observer is telling one of the players to cheer up. Always good in a tournament match when the Observer's there rooting you on. with nice comments like, win one game at least, dude. But yeah, the 9 pylon, 10 gate at choke. If you're on a map like, say, Blistering Sands, you can get away with a 10 pylon, 10 gate at choke, something like that. We like that quite a bit. And the whole focus of this is, I'm going to get Zealots out, and I'm going to mess with you. I'm going to mess with all your early expandage. And I'm going to slow you down and force you to make way too many lings and not enough drones. Now, I slowed this down to note that Sen 12 pools, and that is very uniquely Sen. Very few players I have seen do this. Sen often opts to get a queen up before he even begins his expo hatchery. But anyways, the focus of this I mean, with the one exception of a 12 pool, is that you want to get enough zealots out to mess with him, to get in his face, to delay this expansion, to force as many lings as possible, and then you throw up your own nexus, and then you can easily build a forge, and you can build a cannon behind here. You have just a nice wall-off set up already, and it works out very, very nicely. Notice that we can get this zealot out, and we can chrono boost it. And in the meanwhile, we have non-stop probe production. I will open up the resource tab really fast here so we can get good tabs on everything that's going on and look at the timing on White-rA's build. He gets to 18 of 18 food right when that pylon finishes, so he has the zealot rallied. And of course, he is scouting in here, and he sees that this 12 pool is going down. And White-rA is going to do something a little bit interesting. He's not actually going to attack with his first zealot. And this is a pretty common technique done with a 10 gate, regardless of what the opening is for Zerg, just to wait for 2 zealots before you really get in there and attack, because 1 zealot dies pretty easily to that first set of Zerglings, but as you get more and more zealots, the only way that they can keep up is when they get that big surge of larvae from the queen. So we like 10 gating. 10 gating is pretty sweet. So White-rA just sort of passively rallying here. Don't mind this at all. And once again, the focus of this, of the games we're going to be seeing today, it's 2 PVZs from White-rA against Sen. And the focus is that White-rA does pretty much the same thing in both these games, but in one game it works and one game it doesn't. This is the game that it works, so we'll be discussing that quite a bit. But yeah, 10 gate, great build. We get to get a bunch of zealots out. We love this. We can put pressure on our opponent. I really think that now would be a key time to try to get in our opponent's face and do some real hurt. But White-rA is playing, I think, a little bit too passive. You can wait for 1 or 2, sometimes 3 if they get a really early pool. But I mean, if we just go to the unit counting station, 8 lings versus 4 zealots, I mean, that is not at all close. Not in the slightest. The zealots will just demolish that. But yeah, either way, what's so nice about the 1 gate opening is that we can get our forge after we get our nexus up. Especially on blistering sands, you can actually wall off your front with a gateway and a forge. Walling off is actually so good that you should consider it a common technique as Protoss. Because if you wall off, you just warp over the wall. And really the only unit that gets screwed by this is the Immortal, but, you know, who makes Immortals anyways? Just get the Colossi because they walk down cliffs and that sort of thing. So, one of the big reasons we love this, we can wall ourselves off on many maps. You can even do this on Lost Temple. All you need is another Cybernetics core, and then another pylon. So many players also like walling off with the Cyber core. I personally don't, because I 2 gate, so I have an extra gateway here. But yeah, either way, White-rA making a lot of workers. One thing I feel like White-rA should be doing, though, is should be getting this gas a little bit earlier. Should be getting it while this photon cannon is building. And here comes the push by White-rA, and he moves out right when this spine crawler is actually burrowed. And notice that in the unit counting station, remember when earlier I said, yeah, 8 lings versus 4 zealots, not even close? Well, it's still 8 lings. That number hasn't changed, so actually I'm not quite sure how much I like the timing of this attack, but I mean, any relatively early attack is going to be great. Queens actually die very quickly to zealots. You see these zealots aren't really taking too much damage except from the spine crawler. So White-rA is delighted to really get in these queen spaces and do some damage. Now, from Sen's point of view, if you look at this, Sen doesn't really have a layer up yet. This gas is late. There's been no speed. Really, the only big thing that Sen's gotten up is some Zerglings early, has gotten some queens early. So, just in general, as a general sort of thing to think about, a lot of these early pool builds are designed to not die to a rush. Any matchup we're talking about, an early-ish pool build is designed to get a queen up, get some lings up, and you are just very, very safe right then and there. And the way to deal with this is to just, you know, like, wait a little bit and then attack. Like, count to 10 and then attack, you know. Because the thing about any sort of fast pool build is that you will be safe in the right now, and people acknowledge that it's not quite good way down the line. Like, it will get in the way of your economy in some vague regard. But people tend to ignore the strength of an initial rush to an early pool player. And exactly the way we're seeing White-rA do right here. Notice that instead of rushing with his first zealot in combination with his second zealot, he's rushing with 6 zealots. And I really think he could have gotten away with 4. But I mean, this should be like your nice little timing. So, you know, if your opponent goes for a 14 hatch, rush with your first zealot. If he goes for a 14 pool 16 hatch, rush with 2 zealots. If he does some sort of 12 pool and builds a bunch of zerglings, wait until you have 4 zealots. In each of these cases, the earlier the pool, the bigger the delay on the attack, but there's still a really friggin' early attack. I mean, early attacking is just great. So, regardless of what really happens in the opening stages for Protoss, generally you will have this expo up, you'll have this nice little wall, you'll have a cannon neatly tucked between some buildings, and at this point in the game,